Hi, my name is Ashley with Hippy Fit, and welcome to another yoga practice. Today's practice is going to be hip opening, and there's going to be lots of lateral bends. So if that is a request inside of your body, then you've come to the right place. I'm going to try to keep this intro short, so I just have my few little things I like to talk about at the beginning of every yoga practice. The first one being that you are the one experiencing your body. You are the one inside who can feel how this practice feels. And so if you move into a posture and you experience pain, and not pain in the sense like, ooh, my muscles are working, but ouchy pain, please back off a little bit. And if that doesn't make it go away, then change postures entirely to something where you can be comfortable and at ease. Second thing is that imagine you're listening to your favorite song and it's so good that you just want to close your eyes and really take it all in. It's because our eyes can really distract us. And so yoga is a practice that's not only about making shapes with your physical form, but it's about the way you relate to yourself as you move through practice and as you move through variations of postures. So that being said, yes, I'm here. This is a video. And so if you need a visual reference, I will be moving through the practice with you, but I'm going to do my best to use my words to guide you so that you could just set the video off to the side, maybe even turn your screen away so that you're not tempted to look. And you can mostly just try to use your ears for this practice. I'm being all weird over here because this is where my microphone is. Last thing is my puppy dog is in here and he might move around. Right now he's laying on the floor, but I can tell you he is not going to lay on the floor in that position for the next hour straight. So you might see him moving about. I believe that is it. And so to jump right into practice, begin to find a posture where you feel comfortable centering. So centering is just a way that we can quiet the mind, still the body, so you can really begin to settle into practice. So you can be seated or you can lie down on your back. If you're seated, you might elevate your hips with a yoga block. I'm sitting on a yoga block. And if you would prefer to just lay down, that is entirely okay. So once you have found a posture where you can be comfortable, where you can rest, relax, and feel at ease in your body, I invite you to bring your eyes to a close. Notice as your eyes close that darkness is now going to be your primary experience. And yet you can still see light filtering in through your eyelids. See that you can hold darkness and light in the same moment. And start to feel heavy in your body. Ground down into your tailbone. And trace from your tailbone through the curve of your lower back to the space of your rib cage. And feel your rib cage on the back side of your body, how it wraps around the sides and then meets in the front at your sternum. Let your belly expand as you breathe in. Let it fall as you exhale. Now rise up through your chest, but release the weight of your shoulders down and back. Come to the base of your neck and trace the curve of your neck to the base of your skull. And now at this place, tuck your chin down and back so you can lengthen the base of your skull up towards the ceiling. Soften the muscles around your forehead, around your eyes, and even try to soften your eyes themselves. Relax your jaw. And take your tongue and place it to the roof palate of your mouth with the tip of your tongue right behind your front few teeth. Leave some space between the back rows of teeth. And see that this bind of the tongue to the roof of your mouth is called Jiva Bandha. And the goal is to keep this in place throughout the entirety of practice, as it will have an impact on how air can move through your nasal passage in the back of your throat. It might feel a little smoother, a little easier. And now, just as you notice the polarity of darkness and light, feel how the back side of your body can be strong, and the front side of your body can be soft and relaxed. You can hold these two experiences in the same moment to feel balance. And now start to tune into the rhythm of your breath. Watch how when you inhale, air comes in and down into your body, and your body expands upward and out. And then when you exhale and your air travels upward and outside of the body in turn relaxes in and down. It's almost a feeling of surrender or letting go. And now listen carefully. At the bottom of your next exhale, see if you can draw your lower belly slightly back and up. See that this will create an engagement of the muscles of your lower core. Try to keep these muscles engaged as you inhale, so that your inhale is going to meet your toned belly, and therefore your breath will have to expand up and out into your rib cage, and you should feel an expansion up towards your collarbones, front to back, and side to side. So at the bottom of each exhale, you can clarify that this tone of your belly is still in place, and if you've lost it, just bring it back. And search for that expansion of your ribcage in all four directions as you inhale. And even as you exhale and the breath empties, see if you can keep some of this lift of your ribcage in place. See that this little bit of pressure in the belly impacts the way your breath expands the body, and you might be getting a little bit of a stretch between your ribs. You might feel a little bit more stable around the space of your lower back. And throughout practice, you will hear the invitation to tone your belly. And that just means that the goal is to breathe in this way. But now that you've had a felt experience of this breath, let your lower belly soften and return to what is a natural rhythm of breathing for you. And instead, bring your hands to the space of your heart. You can bring your hands to the classic prayer position, or you might lay one hand on the heart and the other hand on top of the first. Notice how the mind meets this invitation to gather some awareness at the space of your heart. Notice if your mind is relatively still in this moment, or if there's a tendency right now for you to drift to future thinking, planning, fantasy, imagination, past, retelling stories. But see that your yoga practice is an opportunity to practice present moment awareness. It's completely natural for the mind to drift into past, future, fantasy. But see that you have the willingness to come back to the present moment. The present moment is the only moment that is actually real, tangible in front of you. The only place where you can actually expend your energy in a meaningful way. And so, throughout your practice, the breath, the sensation of your form, and intention can be things to bring you back into the present moment. And now see, with your hands at your heart, you can set an intention to guide you through practice. Let your intention be something that invokes your devotion so that it can bring you back when you get lost in moments of thought. That could be a quality you wish to embody more of in life. You might repeat to yourself compassion or patience. Or perhaps you want to use an affirmation or a quote, a mantra. No matter what your intention may be, just silently repeat it to yourself to really seal it into your awareness. And then when you feel complete in that, you can lower your hands down to your sides. And if you aren't already on your back, take a moment to make your way to that place. As you come to lie down on your back, lengthen out in two directions. So straighten out your legs and then inhale and stretch your arms up and overhead. And now you might point through your toes, circle through your wrists, or maybe even your ankles. If you choose to take circles, balance it out and move in the opposite direction. And then come back to the rhythm of your breath. And the next time you exhale, lower your arms down to shoulder height at T. If you don't quite have space, you can always bend your elbows to look like a goalpost or interlace your fingers and place them overhead. Now bring a bend into your knees. Walk your feet outside of hip width. Lift and spread your toes, and now feel how that will activate the bottom of your foot, tone your belly, engage your glutes, your backside just a little bit. Tuck your chin down and back. Take a deep breath in, and now when you exhale, guide your knees to the right and turn your gaze to look to the left. Inhale to lift up through center, and now exhale to lower your knees to the left and roll your gaze to look right. Set this into motion with the pace of your breath. Each inhale to lift through center, each exhale to lower to one side. And try to let the rhythm of your breath slow down the rhythm of your movement. Try to let the breath guide your pace rather than trying to match your breath to the way in which you move. And now take your time to get there, but the next time your knees lower to the right, pause. If you want to increase sensation around the left hip, you can take your right ankle and step it somewhere on top of your left knee or thigh bone. But see that this might have the tendency to pull you into a back bend. Use the strength of your core by pulling your lower belly in and up to resist this, to try to pull your lower ribs down a little bit closer to the front of your hips. Continue to watch your breath. Watch the way you might lift slightly on inhale, and the way you might be able to soften a little bit more into the posture on the exhale. Step your right foot down. Inhale, lift your knees up, and exhale and pause to hold on the second side. This time, if you chose to take the bind on the first side, you'll step the left ankle somewhere on top of the right knee or thigh bone. Engage around your backside. And once more, stay with the rhythm of your breath. Step your left ankle down. And now once more, move side to side. Your knees lower in one direction and roll your gaze to look the opposite way. Notice how what you feel in your hips might be a little bit different after you've had an opportunity of stillness on both sides. When you've balanced out movement in both directions, lengthen your legs back out long. Inhale your arms overhead. Now listen carefully. On an exhale, ground down into your right heel. Bend your left knee in towards your chest. Lower your arms down to surround your knee and pick up your head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale to stretch your left heel up towards the ceiling. Lower your heel down to the bottom of the mat and stretch your arms overhead. Switch sides now. Ground your left heel. Exhale, bend your right knee in towards the chest. Lower your arms down to surround the knee. Pick up your head, neck, and shoulders. Inhale to lengthen out and to lower back down to the mat. So start to march side to side through this little bit of core effort. Each exhale to bend one knee in towards the chest. Each inhale to lengthen out and to lower down. Stay present to the energy in your hands and your feet. Try to keep both your fingers and your toes spread really wide. And see that you might start to feel some engagement, some effort around your core muscles. The next time you pick up your knee towards the chest and you lower your hands down. Bring both hands to the outside of your knee so that you start to add a little bit of a twist to the upper part of your spine. If you notice that you're only paying attention to the leg that comes into the chest, try to dedicate your awareness equally to both legs so that the leg that stays long down on the mat, those toes stay spun up towards the ceiling, and you resist the tendency for the pinky edge of your foot to rotate down towards the mat. Whenever your right knee comes in towards the chest next, pause there. See that even in a place of effort, you can remain soft in the point between your eyebrows. Relax your jaw. Maybe even close your eyes and look inside. Hold for one more round of breath. Inhale, lengthen out and lower down. And then on your exhale, bend the left knee in towards the chest and pause to hold on the second side. Relax your shoulders down away from your ears. Soften the muscles around your eyes. If you've lost the bind of the tongue to the roof palate of your mouth, bring that back into place. Hold for one more round of breath. Inhale, lengthen out, lower down. See if you want to stretch, full body stretch, or hug the knees into the chest and rock side to side. Or maybe bend your knees once more and lower them side to side and roll your gaze in the opposite direction. Choose how you would like to compensate after that little bit of effort. But eventually make your way off of your back and come around onto your hands and your knees. On your hands and your knees, align your wrists beneath your shoulders, your knees beneath your hips, and peek back at your toes and see that they can disappear in line behind your knees. Spread your fingers really wide. Press the tops of your feet into the mat and tone your belly. Now on an inhale, tuck your chin, round your spine up towards the ceiling. Exhale and melt your chest down, squeeze your shoulder blades together and lift your gaze. Inhale, round the spine up, tuck the chin, look back. Exhale, lift the gaze, melt the chest down, squeeze your shoulder blades in towards one another. Set this into motion and try to keep that subtle tone of your belly in place so that the movement mostly happens around the upper part of your spine and your lower back can remain relatively stable. The next time you round the spine up, this time exhale and reach your hips down and back towards your heels to find a child's pose, but not to stay. Inhale, pull back up. Melt your chest down towards the mat. Squeeze the shoulder blades, lift the gaze. Exhale, round the spine up. Carry the exhale so that your hips reach down and back towards your heels. Now, between each round of cat-cow, add a child's pose. The The next time you're on your hands and your knees, pause. Walk your big toes together and your knees out wide. Sit your hips down and back onto your heels. Lower your torso forward and see if you can rest your forehead down onto the mat. Keep a little bit of tone in your belly, so pull the low belly in and up. Stretch your arms out long and float your head up just so you can see your hands. Now walk your hands up and over to the right corner of your mat. Spin your left shoulder slightly down. Lift a little bit through your right shoulder so that you twist your chest to face towards the right side of the room. And now you can rest your head down onto your left arm or onto the mat. See that the left side of your body is opening as the right side of the body closes off. And try to direct your breath into your left side and see if you can almost get a little bit more stretch between each one of your ribs. On your next inhale, walk your hands through center and use your exhale to close off the left side. Walk your hands up and over to the upper left corner of the mat. This time, draw your right shoulder down, lift a little bit through the left, and then find the place where you can rest your head. Now, as you open on the opposite side, direct your breath to the other side of your body, the right side. Search for expansion, openness. If you've lost the tone of your belly, bring that back into place so that each inhale can expand your rib cage. Inhale now and walk through center and pull up to your hands and knees. Now you can stay facing this way on your mat, or you might turn so that your head points towards the long edge of your mat rather than the short edge. And then you're going to stand up tall on your knees. So if this is too much pressure on your knees, you can always fold your mat over, and that will give you a little extra cushion. Or you can grab a knee pad if that's available to you, or even a pillow. But take a second so that you can get set up in a way where you can be comfortable on your knees for a little while. With your hands on your hips, see if you can now put more weight into your right leg and send your left leg straight out to the side. With your hands on your hips, you should be able to feel if when you lengthened out your left leg, your left hip hiked up. If it did, lower your left hip down so that your hips can be level. Press the top of your right foot into the mat and see that that'll lighten a little bit around your right knee. And then lift and spread your toes on your left foot. Inhale your arms to shoulder height at T. And then turn your gaze to look over your right fingertips. Soften your shoulders down away from your ears. And now flip your right palm up to face towards the ceiling. Exhale and lower your left arm down. Reach your right arm up and bring a lateral bend into the right side of your body. Inhale to come back to where you began and flip your right palm down. Now exhale and reach your right arm over to the top of the mat or the right side of the room, and then eventually lower it down to the mat so your right hand is directly beneath your right shoulder. With your left hand, Sweep your fingertips like you're tracing the horizon, and then bring your left arm up so that it comes right above your left ear. Spin the pinky edge of your left hand down and the thumb up towards the ceiling. Inhale to come back up, stand up tall on your right knee, and return to where you began with your arms out at shoulder height in T. Now you're going to set this into motion. So flip the right palm up. Exhale, lower left arm down, reach right arm up. Inhale, back to where you started, flip the right palm down. Exhale, reach the right arm to the right, lower it eventually down to the mat. Trace the left fingertips around the horizon, and then bring the left bicep to hug close to the left ear. Pinky edge of your left hand spins down, thumb spins up. Inhale, back to where you began. Now, as you set this into motion, when you laterally bend back, you might bend your left arm to the space of your lower back, or you can just continue to reach it down towards your left leg. Each time, look for that trace of the horizon and almost try to spin your chest open towards the ceiling. Each time your right hand comes down, feel almost as though you're trying to lift your left hip up a little closer to the ceiling. And the next time that you lower your right hand down and your left arm is swept overhead, the bicep is close to your ear, pause there. See if you could engage a little bit more through your right glute to really stack your left hip on top of the right. Direct your breath into the expansion, the openness of your left side body. And now listen carefully. Bring your left hand down to the mat. Bring both knees in back beneath your hips so you come back to a tabletop position. Curl your toes under. Inhale, float your knees up off of the mat. Exhale, reach your hips up and back so you find downward facing dog. Keep a soft bend in your knees. Tone your belly and press your chest back towards your thighs. You might pedal the feet, bend one knee, press the opposite heel down towards the mat. Now listen carefully. Reach your left heel up and back. Exhale, step your left foot between your hands and then lower your right knee down. Untuck your right toes and bring both hands to the inner edge of your left foot. Press your hips forward and down and see that there's an angle on your right thigh so that you can now open through the front of the right hip. It might feel better in your body to turn your left toes out slightly to the upper left corner of your mat. And now take your left hand, place it on your left knee. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, twist your chest to the left to face towards your left thigh. Inhale to come back through center. So to turn your chest to face down. And now a few times exhale, twist the chest to the left. Inhale to face forward. Search for lots of space between your right shoulder and your right ear. Really press down into the right hand. And the next time you twist left, pause there. If you'd like, take your left hand out to shoulder height at T. And now inhale And see if you can twist your chest a little bit more and reach your left fingertips up towards the ceiling. If you can, pause there. Relax both shoulders down away from your ears. Maybe soften your gaze so that you can take in what's in your periphery, or close your eyes entirely. You can stay here, be sensitive and honest to your body's needs. If it is an easy reach for you, you can bend your right knee, reach your left hand down, and try to grab a hold of the pinky edge of your right foot. Stay really present to how you hold yourself around your right arm. Hold here for one more deep breath. If you bend the right knee, straighten it out, sweep your left arm back around, bring your hands down to the mat. Now keep your right knee where it's at, but straighten through your left knee, reach both hips back, and pause now in what is a stretch through the back side of your left leg, your hamstring, and you might want to take your left hand to the outside of your left leg. Once you're here, be present to the energy of your feet. Press the top of your right foot into the mat, spread your left toes, and feel as though you could hug your left hip slightly back and press your right hip slightly forward. Notice how you hold your head and hold your spine. Could you lift a little bit more through your tailbone? Could you tuck your chin down and back slightly? Or if your head is collapsed, your chin completely against your chest, lift your chin slightly so you search for a straight line from the top of your head all the way down to your tailbone. Reintroduce the bend now to your left knee so you can place your hands down and step your left knee back behind you so it lands underneath your hip. Once more, if you liked to turn your tabletop so that your head pointed towards the long edge of your mat on the first side, do the same on the second. But this time, you'll stretch your right leg out to the side with your hands on your hips, level out your hips, and then lift your arms up to shoulder height at T. This time, you'll turn your gaze to look over your left fingertips. Flip your left palm to face up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Now exhale, lower your right arm down, reach your left arm up. Inhale to come back to where you began, turn your left palm down. Exhale, reach to the left side, lower your left hand down. Now trace your right fingertips around the horizon. Spin the pinky edge of your hand down, the thumb up as your arm comes up towards your ear. And then return back to where you began and set it into motion on the second side. Exhale, laterally bend to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale to reach the left hand forward and down, and then trace the right hand around the horizon. Follow the pace of your breath. If you liked to bring the hand to the space of your lower back as you laterally bend back on that first movement, if you liked that on the first side, do the same on the second. Each time you laterally bend, try to keep the chest open up towards the ceiling. When you laterally bend back and as the hand sweeps around, try to open up the chest towards the ceiling. And the next time you reach the left hand down and you sweep the right arm up by the ear, pause. Try to extend a little bit more through the right side body up towards the ceiling. Reach the right arm towards the top of your mat. Exhale, lower the right hand down. Come to your tabletop position, hands and knees. See that the knees are beneath the hips. Spread the fingers wide, curl the toes under. Inhale, float your knees up. Exhale, reach your hips up and back. Slide your shoulder back from the wrist to find downward facing dog. Maybe pedal through the feet once more, or you can nod through the head. You can nod yes, as though you're saying yes to your practice, yes to presence, yes to sensitivity, generosity, focus. And then when you feel ready, this time, spread your right toes, put a little more weight into your left foot. Inhale your right leg up and back. Exhale, step your foot forward between your hands. Lower your left knee down. Walk your hands around to the inner edge of your right foot. Untuck your left toes and press the top of your back foot into the mat. Choose if you want to keep your right toes facing forward or if you want to angle them out to the upper right corner of the mat. As you come to the second side here in the low lunge, take your right hand to the top of the right knee, and a few times on your exhale, twist your chest to the left. Inhale to turn it back to face forward, and a few times come in and out of this subtle variation of a twist on the second side. The next time you twist right, pause there. And if you'd like to deepen it a bit, reach your right arm out to shoulder height at T. Inhale, twist the chest a little bit more to the right. Reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Stay strong through your left hand. Search for spaciousness around the shoulder. Be honest with where you're at today, and if it's an easy reach, you're more than welcome to bend your left knee, reach your right arm down, but make sure you grab a hold of the pinky edge of your left foot so that your shoulder on the right side can stay open. It can be broad through the chest, through the collarbones. As you hold here in a twist with the heart open, maybe tune back into the intention you set at the very start of practice. Hold for one more deep breath. Exhale, straighten out the left knee if you bent it. Sweep your right arm around. Turn the right toes to face forward if needed. Leave your left leg where it's at, but reach your hips back. See that this will straighten your right knee. You might slide your hands back, or you might even bring your right hand to the outside of your front leg. On this second side, see that there's energy in your feet, and then you're gonna hug your right hip back a little and press your left hip forward. Search for that little lift of your tailbone. Notice how you hold your head. Try to keep your neck in line with the rest of your spine if you can. Eventually inhale, bend your your right knee. Sweep your right leg back behind you. And now you choose, either walk your knees wide, bring your big toes together, and sit back to child's pose, or curl your toes under, float your knees up, reach your hips up and back, slide your shoulders back, and pause for a few breaths in downward facing dog. Your choice. If you're in child's pose, You might sway side to side a little bit through your hips. If you're in downward dog, you might move around the neck. You might bend the knees and press the opposite heel down towards the mat to stretch around the calves. If you're in downward dog, you can stay there. If you're in child's pose, make your way to a downward facing dog. And this time, put a little more weight into the right foot. Inhale, stretch the left leg up and back. Exhale, step it forward. Now listen really carefully. Walk your hands around to the right. Spin your heels to the left so that you come into a wide-legged forward fold. Soften your knees a little bit. Lift and spread your toes. And now exhale, and if you haven't already, fold forward. Release the weight of your head, neck, and shoulders. You might reach your hands around and grab your heels or the back of your ankles. You might grab onto opposite elbows and sway side to side. Eventually place your hands back beneath your shoulders, press up. Spin your heels in, your toes out. And now bend your knees and see that your knees can align about directly above your ankles. Bend your knees, tone your belly, bring your hands to your hips. So now with a strong back, stand up tall. So see that your heels are still spun in, your toes out. You can grab the mat with your big toe, but try to lift and spread your little toes. Bring your hands to your hips. Now on an inhale, reach your hips back, bend your knees. Exhale and stand. A few times. Inhale, bend your knees. Press your knees out towards the pinky edge of your foot. Exhale and stand up tall. As you come in and out of horse pose, notice that you might start to feel some heat build in your legs. And the next time that your knees bend, see if you can pause there. You can leave your hands on your hips, or maybe bring your hands to heart center and close your eyes. Notice how the mind might meet a place of effort, and see that rather than getting lost in the story of how the body may feel, can you soften? Can you relax? And can you search for a place of ease inside of you? The part of your body that is untouched. Your spirit. Deep inside of you. Peaceful and at ease. Try to stay here for one more round of breath. Take a deep breath in. Exhale completely. And inhale and stand. Bring your hands down. Heel toe step your feet in a little closer so they're just outside of hip width. Lower your arms down. And now swing your arms around. Let your heels lift as you turn side to side and take a moment of release in a Tai Chi twist. After a lot of muscle effort and control, try to let this be really soft and relaxed. Use momentum. Notice if you can just be soft and relaxed and loose, or do you have a tendency to want to hold on and to be kind of rigid? Know that in practice, you always just observe what is happening without any judgment. It's just an opportunity to learn. but eventually slow that down. And now once more, place your hands on your hips, step your feet wide apart. Actually, wait just a moment. If you have a yoga block, or if you have a foam roller, I found a foam roller works really well as a yoga block. Take that and place it at the upper right corner of your mat. Once your block is in place, if that's something available to you, if it's not, that's entirely okay. Then step your feet wide apart again with your hands on your hips. Bring your weight into the ball of your left foot and spin your left heel back slightly. Now come onto your right heel and spin your right toes to face forward towards the front of your mat. A few times, inhale, bend your right knee. Exhale and straighten. Bend and straighten your knee a few times so you can find the place where your right knee aligns directly above your right ankle. The next time you've found your way to that place, pause. Lift your arms up to shoulder height at T and turn your gaze to look over your right fingertips. Notice you've been somewhere similar before. Flip your right palm to face up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, lower your left arm down, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale to come back through center, warrior two. Exhale, reach your right arm forward. Lower your right elbow down so it lands above your right knee. Now trace your left fingertips around the horizon. Spin the pinky edge of your hand down. Spin your chest open as your bicep comes up towards your left ear. Inhale and stand. And now set this into motion. Exhale, sweep the right arm up, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two, where you began. Exhale, reach forward, lower your right elbow down to the knee, sweep your left fingertips around the horizon, and then up towards the ear as you find your side angle pose. If it ever becomes too much for the strength of your right knee, know that each time you start a new round and you reverse the warrior, you're more than welcome to straighten out your right knee. Try to match your movement to your breath. Let the breath slow you down. And the next time your right elbow lands on your right knee and you trace the left arm around the horizon, pause there in your side angle pose. Try to lift a little bit more through your left side up towards the ceiling. Now listen carefully. Reach your left arm up so your fingertips reach towards the ceiling. Search for a straight line from your fingertips all the way down to your left shoulder. Now start to reach your hips back. Notice this will straighten your right knee, but keep a soft bend in the knee. You can reach your right arm down onto your thigh, onto your right shin, onto your yoga block. If you're really bendy, maybe all the way onto the floor. But no matter what, see that your chest stays spun open to the side of the room and search for a straight line from your left fingertips all the way down into your right hand for extended triangle pose. Come back to your breath. Maybe if you can, close the eyes and look inside. Hold for one more inhale. Exhale and bend your right knee. Lower your left hand down to the mat and spin your left heel up towards the ceiling. See if you can ground your left palm down. Have a strong, straight left leg. See that your right knee is bent above your right ankle. Now reach your right arm out to shoulder height at T. Inhale, twist your chest open to the right towards your front leg. Pause here. Be strong through the bottom hand. Search for that straight line of energy once more through your arms. Could your two arms almost blend to feel as though they are one? Hold for one more inhale. Exhale, lower your right hand down. Hop your left foot forward about a foot length. Reach your hips back, straighten out your right leg. Try to hug your right hip back, your left hip forward. And here you can choose if you want to have a straight spine or if you want to lower the head down. Now start to walk your hands to the left. Spin your heels back so you return to that wide angle forward fold. Soft bend in your knees, lift your toes, but release your head, your neck, and your shoulders. Grab onto opposite elbows maybe and sway side to side. Or you can grab around onto the back side of your ankle. Just take a moment to release. Place your hands beneath your shoulders. And now you're going to set up for the second side. So you're going to spin your right heel slightly back. Spin on your left heel. Maybe walk your hands a little bit to the left so that you can turn your left toes to face forward. Bend your left knee, tone your belly with a strong spine stand. You should already be close to your warrior two stance, but if you need to, a few times you can inhale, bend your left knee, and search for that alignment of your left knee above your left ankle. Once you've found your way to that place, inhale your arms out to shoulder height at T for Virabhadrasana 2, Warrior 2 on the second side. Flip your left hand this time to face up. Exhale, lower your right arm down, reach your left hand up. Inhale to center, Warrior 2. Exhale, reach the left arm forward, lower the elbow down to the left thigh. Sweep your right arm around the horizon, spin the pinky edge of your hand down, open your chest to the side of the room, and then inhale and stand and start the next round. Can you remain really present? Your awareness focused on not where you're going or what might be next, but can you really feel all the subtleties between each movement? Can you refine as you move through repetition? And then the next time your left elbow comes down to the left thigh and you sweep the hand around the horizon for your side angle pose, pause there. If like me, you forgot to move your block, don't panic. You're more than welcome to stand up and come out of this. Grab your block, place it to the outside of your left foot. And then with intention, come back into your side angle pose. And when you feel ready to move towards extended triangle, reach your right arm up towards the ceiling. Search for that straight line from the fingertips down into the right shoulder. Reach your hips back, straighten your left knee. Reach your left arm down onto your thigh, your shin, your block, your mat. And once more, look for that alignment of straight line through the left hand all the way into the right fingertips. If your chest has started to turn down towards the floor, see if you can open up a little bit more to the side of the room. You might have to lift your hand up onto a block, onto a little bit higher place on the leg. Hold for one more inhale. Exhale, reach your right hand down, bend your left knee, spin your right heel up towards the ceiling. Put support into your right hand, strong through your right arm. Bend your left knee above your left ankle. Reach your left arm out to shoulder height at T. Inhale, twist the chest open to the left and pause there. Come back to your breath. With your chest open, maybe come back to intention. Hold for one more inhale. Exhale, lower your left hand down. Hop your right foot forward slightly. Straighten your left knee, hug your hips back. Especially hug your left hip back and press your right hip forward. Your choice, you can hold with a straight spine or you can release your head and your neck and your shoulders. This time, bend your left knee a little. Place both hands down firmly. Step your left foot back to downward dog. Keep a soft bend in your knees and pedal your feet one more time if you'd like. And then eventually return to your hands and your knees. Come down to a comfortable seat and then make your way all the way down onto your back. As you come to lay down on your back body, hug your knees in towards your chest and rock side to side. Maybe bring your hands to your knees and press your knees forward and back. And then set the soles of your feet down to the mat. Walk your feet outside of hip width and let your knees come in to rest on one another. So if you walked your feet out too far and your knees can't touch, wiggle walk them in just a little closer. Or if it's really easy for the knees to touch, you might see if you could wiggle walk the feet out just a little further. Rest your hands on your belly, and at the bottom of your exhale, see that your fingertips lightly touch. So that now when you inhale, your fingertips will come apart, and then each time you exhale at the very bottom of your exhale, they'll softly touch. Stay with this for a few rounds of breath. And see that each breath you can soften a little bit more around your face, your neck, your shoulders. And now trade this. Interlace your fingers and place your arms up and overhead with a bend in your elbows so that your arms can rest comfortably against the floor. Heel toe step your feet all the way in so the soles of your feet come together, and then lower your knees out wide so that your legs mirror the posture of your upper body. Lightly press the soles of your feet together. And now in this place, take deep breaths into your belly. You might exhale and sigh it out. Maybe do that a few more times. Deep breath into the belly. Sigh it out, let it all go. One more time. Start to really relax through the body. See if there are any final movements you'd like to take. If you want to hug the knees into your chest again, or windshield wipe, where you lower the knees to one side and turn your head the opposite direction. You might love to finish your practices with happy baby. Let these final moments be your choice, your own unique exploration, before you settle into the final posture of practice, Shavasana. When you feel ready for Shavasana, lengthen your legs out down towards the bottom of the mat. Lower your arms down by your side. Let there be some space between your arms and your side body, and turn your palms to face up. Please stay for Shavasana. Know that this part of practice is just as important as the movement phase. This is your chance to really rest and integrate. And just as you've been doing throughout the entirety of practice, if your mind wanders, just use your breath or intention to come back to this moment. And know that when the time comes to awaken, I'll be here to bring you back. together we will stand alone and look upon the world with eyes empty of rules and measures, as artists whose lives are our art. A quote by Rolf Gates in Meditations from the Mat. Slowly begin to awaken your body by introducing some small movements to your fingers and your toes. Deepen your breath. And when you feel ready, you may gently roll onto one side. Let your eyes be closed for just a moment longer as you press your way up to a seated foundation. And you can let your hands rest in your lap or on top of your knees. And now send gratitude to your body for letting you move through this practice and for being the vessel through which you get to move through this life. And send gratitude to your mind for all of the knowledge that it holds and for its capacity to keep learning, growing, expanding. I invite you to bring your hands to your heart space once more and send gratitude to your heart for the wisdom that it holds and for its unique capacity to be a compass in your life. And then send gratitude to your spirit for being the essence of you, the beautiful you who came here to this earth to do what only you are here to do and only you can do. Be grateful and honor this potential that is your life. Send gratitude across all time and space to anyone who you might have been able to share this practice with. And please know that I am so grateful to you for trusting me to lead you through this practice and for getting to share this ancient lineage of yoga together. It is the divine light in me that looks out, bows and honors to that very same light which exists within you. Namaste. This would be the perfect time to maybe sit and meditate for a while, or you're more than welcome to move into the rest of your day or your evening. Once again, I'm really grateful that we got to share this time together, and I appreciate your support. If you want to see more yoga videos, you can subscribe. And I'll add one last little thing. Every week I do a question of the week, and I usually post them on Mondays, and I usually film these videos on Sundays. And I don't always know what the question is going to be, but this week I do. And so this week's question is, what is the question you're tired of hearing? And if you would like to engage in a little bit of community, you're more than welcome to comment it below. I also post them on my Facebook page and usually my Instagram story every Monday. So yeah, it's just a fun way that we get to learn and interact with each other and figure out weird synchronicities in the world. So yeah, thank you for taking this time to spend it with me. Always sending you peace and love from my corner of the world. Bye.